So we are currently in 2K21 MyTEAM, lads. Looking at some of the best players in the game. We have not got an auctionable player that's above a 96 overall this year. And looking at a lot of other cards, the vast majority of the best cards in the game are like 95s. If you're looking at Galaxy Opal cards, as of right now, we've got Dwayne Wade and we've got Elgin Baylor. Both 97 overalls. They were not 99 overalls like last year. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is I'm going to be going over the best cards in 2K20 as well as 2K21 MyTEAM at this stage in the year. So these are the best Christmas squads of both years. And I'm going to be comparing them because a lot of people were saying that 2K were going to end up having a better control over players. As in last year, a lot of people felt like the cards got too good too fast, which was a problem for some people. It's not necessarily a problem for me because the better the cards are, honestly, the more fun I have in playing the game. But people did genuinely complain that the cards got too good too fast. So what I am going to do in this video is I'm going to compare the 2K20 Christmas squad and the 2K21 and tell you guys which one would win just in a vacuum. Whether it's 2K20, 2K21 current gen, just which cards in general are better. So let's have a look here. So we're going to be starting off with the 2K20 squad. So the 2K20 squad, 2K21. So we're going to start off with the point guards. And the 2K21 point guards are Stephen Curry as well as Dwayne Wade. These guys are the guys that are going to be running the point guard for 2K21. And in 2K20, the two best point guards in the game of Christmas were Derrick Rose as well as John Stockton. So John Stockton, if you guys remember Derrick Rose, again, 2K20 you couldn't add badges to players, and that'll also be taken into account as well. Because that is a thing, like, the fact you couldn't add badges to players also kind of helped with the longevity of players. But Derrick Rose versus Steph Curry, two different types of players. This John Stockton, I'm telling you right now, was not as good as John Stockton is right now. John Stockton's current card is a lot better than this John Stockton, and he was still the number 2 point guard in the game this time last year. He was still number 2, and he wasn't even as good as the John Stockton who's not in the top 2. Although you can argue John Stockton at 3 or 4. D-Rose is probably different. And then this D-Rose here, I was a big fan of this Derrick Rose card because he had range extender, he had goal clamps, he had quick first step. But this was before, like, if you guys don't know, up until Christmas Eve last year, there were literally only like 4 or 5 cards in the game that had gold clamps, or say 4 or 5 wings in the game that had gold clamps, gold quick first step, gold quick draw, and gold range extender. And Derrick Rose is one of them, but there were so few, whereas even at the point guard position, there's about 15 that are like that. Dwayne Wade, significantly better this year than D-Rose was last year. Yeah, that Derrick Rose is a go quick draw, but this Wade's release is better. This Wade is a similar dunker. They're kind of similar, honestly, but the behind the back, you give the advantage to Wade. And if you put this Wade back into 2K20, he has the Pro 3 behind the back, which is even better. Then Curry's just kind of a standout. Because obviously Curry slide is a thing. But still, with the peekaboo last year, how easy that was, as well as if you could do the proper quick stop. And at Christmas last year, you can't forget the explosive behind the backs in the game, which meant that this Steph Curry card, in terms of 3 hunting, would have just still dominated. We had a Steph Curry last year. He was just nowhere near as good because he couldn't dunk like this Steph, and he couldn't play defense either. So yeah, Steph Curry, I think, goes in, would still be elite, and I'm going to give the advantage in the point guard position to 2K21. The spot, and to be fair, it's 96, 97, 96, 97, so they're kind of even. 21 is the advantage. Now we're going to the 2 guards. So the best 2 guard, in my opinion, in terms of starting lineups, we're going to, actually no, let's go wings. Let's go wings. We are going to, and that's the wrong year. So 2K20, I'm going to put Ray Allen and prime Tracy McGrady. T-Mac was so nice. And then off the bench, Kobe Bryant, the diamond card. And after Kobe, we had small forward position. There was a lot of guys you could use, but the guy I probably saw most commonly, I'm not even going to say Grant Hill, because this Grant Hill got an update in January. He wasn't good till January. So, before January, yeah, you can definitely, well, after January you can argue Grant Hill, but And in that stage, no one really used him. It was Jimmy Butler. So Ray Allen, Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and Jimmy Butler, in my opinion. So, this on 2K21, we got J.R. Smith. And I'm saying this right now, and I will say it again. J.R. Smith, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. I don't care what order you have them in. Like, people were like, I said it in my 2-guard video. The people were going crazy saying that I put J.R. Smith over Dwayne Wade. I literally said it when I did it. I was like, if you think Wade is better than J.R. Smith, okay. It is preference. These three are the elite 3 2-guards. These are so, like, Eddie Jones is number 4. And these guys are, like, way better than Eddie Jones. You can't even debate Eddie Jones in that. I think you can debate any of these guys at number 1. For me, the way I play the game, I rely more on half range extender than I rely on half clamps. For that reason, J.R. Smith is in there, and he also is Pro 3 behind the back, just the same as Wade. Either way, though, I don't really mind. If you want to start Kobe and bring J.R. off the bench, I really don't care. Or if you want to start Wade and bring Curry off the bench, it doesn't make a difference. But J.R., Hall of Fame range extender. He has got, again, really nice dribble sigs. Pro 3 behind the back. His defense is pretty good as well. And then you've got Kobe Bryant, Hall of Fame clamps, gold range extender. Nice shooter. Quick first step, gold. Handles good. But this is a debate. And actually, sorry, I haven't even got the 3s in. So, Paul George, as well as other Paul George, because I really like these 2 guys, Paul George and other Paul George, so the exact same card. Again, like this Paul George, half quick first step, gold range extender, gold clamps, an overall really good card, and then Cam Reddish, I think it's only like gold quick first step, silver range, gold clamps, but he can play at the 2. But if you guys don't know about these other cards right here, the Ray Allen and Tracy McGrady were just different levels. So I'm going to, let's go to players, roster updates, and let's have a look at the 2K20 roster updates and go down to the 24th of December. The fact that the 24th of December, this is why we all assumed that we were getting idols, because Christmas Eve and like the day before Christmas Eve the other day, or 2K19 was when we got the best cards. But this Tracy McGrady card, he had 18 halves. Like 18 halves. Like we're looking at Kobe Bryant with his what does Kobe have? 10 halves? 12 halves something? Like none of these guys have 18 halves. Like none of these guys have 18. Badges, he had Showtime half. Range extender, he had half flexible as well last year. He had Green Machine. Also had half quick first step and half clamps, as well as basically every defensive patch on gold. And obviously gold quick draw because it was a badge last year. This card was ridiculous. He was ridiculous. 96 3-ball, 97 dunk. Like you don't know how, you don't realize we thought he was going to be an endgame card. Like we thought this guy was going to be an endgame card. And I'm going to say this now. I'm not going to say he was a good endgame card, but you could survive at the end of 2K20 with this guy. You could survive. Like, I played against Fat Balls in like May, June using this card, and he was still pretty good. And then Ray Allen, I mean, was he that much different? Was he that much worse? And then they both had the behind like Ray Allen had 20 halves. Like he had 20 halves. Like some people are saying that cards are going overboard now. Like this card had 99 3-ball, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 90 driving dunk, and 20 Hall of Fame badges, which included range extender, quick draw, slippery off ball. He had quick first step only gold, but he had half clamps as well, which was crazy. Like, if you're looking at current players, let's just say Kobe, because he's the most recent one that came out. 13 halves. 13 halves, although he did have 25 goals. 29 goals, 20 halves. Like, these guys were different. However, it is a bit of a tough one when we're talking about, let's just go back to roster updates. And I think it was the 26th or 28th of November, I think, was it? When Kobe Bryant came out? No, 26th of November. No, 27th. My bad. 27th of November when this came out. I got the dates wrong, unfortunately. But he had 6 halves. He had half difficult shots, gold range center, gold dead eye, gold quick draw, gold quick first step, gold or half clamps, half tire defender, half pass, half defensive leader. Whereas if you're looking at this year's Kobe, Like, sorry, and in terms of shooting wise, like only an 89 3, 94 driving dunk. Defense was still elite. This year's Kobe is definitely better than this Kobe right here. I'll be the first to admit that. Like 13 hops, a little bit better 3-ball, a little bit more athletic. In terms of badges, he had more shooting and one more defensive badge. But you know, weren't that different in game. And then Jimmy Butler, obviously, he's comparable to Cam. This Jimmy is comparable to Cam, but I will give Cam the advantage. However, these guys were streets ahead. These were next level. Like, if you put these guys into 2K21, they're the 2 best wings in the game, and it's not even close. Like, it is not even close. These guys compared to any other wings. T-Mac, Ray Allen, so much better than these guys. So, in terms of wings, I'm going to give the advantage to 2K20. So, point guards was won by 2K21. Wings won by 2K20. So now we're going to have a look at the power forwards. And in my opinion, we got AK. We got Andre Kirilenko. And I'm typing in the wrong game. So on this game, sorry, we have Lamar Odom glitched. Lamar Odom flash. And we have Giannis, 96 overall, spotlight. And then this year's game, we got Kirilenko, when badged up, of course. And we have got Zion. We have Zion Williamson. So Zion Williamson a little bit on this side. One of the better rebounders though, but his release is elite. Quick first step, range extender, as well as goal clamps. AK, one of the best defensive cards in the game by a mile. Like, Kirilenko is crazy good. I think when he's fully badged up, unbelievable defender. 7 hop badges, 29 goal badges. Absolutely elite defensive stats. Nice 3-ball. Good enough ball handle. He's got okay scoring inside. Good enough speed and acceleration. And that's a lot better than, say, Lamar Odom's was. But man, I'm finding it tough. I'm finding it tough to put him... Like, he was better defensively than Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom was way better offensively because he had the profile behind the back. This is Lamar Odom with 7 hops and 40 goals. He had 7 hops and 40 goals, and he was cheaper than this AK is as well. We can't forget, this guy was 50k. 7 hops, 40 goals, and was 50k. I'm base 11. Actually, no, AK's got 98, so I think I'm going to give AK the advantage with his 98 over Lamar Odom's base 11, even though it is pretty close. Then there was Giannis. And this Giannis, holy moly, lads. Holy moly. He came out on the, I don't know, 20th of December, maybe? That's kind of, I'm just making guesses now at this stage. Like 19th, 20th of December. It was the day I handed in my thesis. That's the only reason I remember it. 19th of December. Yeah. He had 10 hoffs. His hoffs were a consistent finisher. He had half downhill and half quick first step, as well as half clamps, half off-ball pass, half tires fender, half pogo stick. And he had quick draw as well as that. Hot zones didn't matter as much, and he had a competent 3-ball of 79. He could hit threes. His defense was Kirilenko level this year. And obviously it's Giannis. Obviously it is Giannis. As well as they had a dribble glitch. You could dribble glitch behind the back people, through people with Pro 2. So this is a tough one because I think I'm going to give the edge to AK over Odom. And as crazy as this Zion is, and for my playstyle, this Zion was not as good as this Giannis. Just straight up. He is not as good as this Giannis was last year. So I'm giving the edge to 20 again. I am giving the edge to 2K20. Then we're going to the centers. So first center for 2K20 is David Robinson. And this is pre any updates David Robinson. This is like when he still had steady, could still barely shoot the 3 and had like bronze clamps. And Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh. Pretty decent card. You're looking at this game, we got fully badged up Blake. And you can have, there's debates to be had here, but I'm putting in Wayne Embry as the number 2 center in the game. I just think the way he plays, he is an absolute elite card. Just straight up, like when we're talking best, Blake is so much better than Bosh and Wayne and David Robinson were. And Wayne Embry is also so much better than both of these guys were. And that D-Rob, Hofstede, sorry, not, did he have Hofstede? I think he got Hofstede maybe with an Evo. But this is like pre-January update. He was the best center in the game. There was no good centers. Like, we were using a Bill Russell. Like, people were using Bill Russell, who I'm telling you right now would not be a top 5 center in the game right now. People were using Bill Russell for 250. Chris Bosh is this year's Chris Bosh, except his release is worse and he can't shoot from the corners. That's literally the difference. They're the same card, except this year's one is a better release and can shoot from the corners. This Chris Bosh isn't even as good as this year's Chris Bosh, who's like 40k. However, Embry clamps, the handle, the ability to dunk. He's a beast. And then Blake Griffin, the ability to just be a demigod. So Blake has definitely, well, he would have been just a revelation in 2K20. He would have changed the game. This Blake Griffin is like, I'm trying to even think when the first Blake Griffin-esque player was in 2K20. Like the point center type with range. I mean, Eddie Curry? Was Eddie Curry the first? And Blake had better handle than Eddie Curry. Like, we may have not seen cards like this Blake Griffin until freaking, like, late May last year. Yeah, I'm going to say that because he had dribble sigs as well. Like, he was better than last year's Dino. Like, he wasn't an endgame card last year, but he was a really, really good card. So I'm giving the edge to 2K21 here by a mile. And then, so yeah, it's a really, really close one. So which game do I think is the more overpowered cards? I'm going to say, in a weird one, if these two teams played, I think the winners would be the 2K21 team. Because while no one would have been able to guard these two guys right here, the centers can literally run by everybody. And you've got range on every single player, except for Wayne Embry. And you can put range on Wayne Embry, because you can add badges. These guys right here, obviously no range on Giannis, weakness. Jimmy Butler, only okay. And Chris Bosh and D-Rob, massive weaknesses, weak links in the team. As well as the point guard position being better. And it's kind of crazy looking back on it, because if you guys can see here, like D-Rose, Ray Allen, T-Mac, these guys, I think 97, 99, 97. Then there's a 99 there, 96, then a 97. So we'd have 1, 2, 3 that would be Galaxy Opals now, and 2 Dark Matters. Whereas this lineup here has 1 Galaxy Opal and a bunch of 96 overalls. So it is just showing that 2K are definitely either changing shot IQ and intangibles to get much better players, with the, well, obviously at lower overalls. And they're also being a lot more generous with badges. They're being a lot more generous with badges and the ability to, and like putting badges on players. Like there's a lot of, like there were very few range extender players. And also the funny thing is that if you ran with this team on 2K20, you weren't losing. The gap between these two and every other wing in the game when they came out was monstrous. The gap between these two guys and every other point guard in the game until January when D-Rose came out was massive. And the gap between Lamar Odom and Giannis and every other power forward was massive. Like there was a set best team in 2K20, unless you wanted to be crazy and put Simmons in as power forward or Simmons in a point guard. And if you knew how to tween, actually, that kind of worked. But in 2K21, there are a million good cards because of adding badges and the way 2K have given badges. There are like 15, 20 wings at least with gold clamps, range extender, and quick draw, whereas there was like 4 last year. So there is much more variety in squads in 21, and there are a lot more great players to choose from. So a lot of people are going to be saying that it's going to change the power creep. I don't think it is, because I think the top end cards were actually better in 2K20. However, in 2K21, the top end cards aren't quite as good, but there are so many cards that are like better than, say, these guys right here. Better than the kind of almost top tier. So 2K, for example, 2K20 had like 2 to maybe 5 10 out of 10 cards, a couple of 9 out of 10s, and then a couple of 8s, and then they all went down to like 7 out of 10s. 2K21 has no 10 out of 10s, but a whole bunch of like 9 out of 10s. And then a whole other team of 9 out of 10s after these guys. So that is where I'm going to give the edge to 2K21. I feel like 2K have done a better job of balancing out cards, giving a whole bunch of great cards out for people to use, whether they're on a budget, whether they're using the most expensive cards in the game. As well as that, I just think, while I enjoyed the gameplay of 20 a bit more in current gen, I do like next gen 2K21. I will be the first to say it that I feel 2K have done a really, really good job of giving out the content to people this year. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.